Hi, this is John Cashman from Pennsylvania. Thanks for listening to the Crown Rest Podcast. Serve the game.
You got a good voice.
It was good. I think the biggest change was the pain points, for lack of a better word, is not calling some of the ticky tack stuff, but letting the play go through, unless it was 100% sure it was a foul. That I think helped, especially with doing a lot more boys games, because it's just like they're just all over. They're just hand checking all over the place, but it's everybody's doing it, so it's like getting better. So it's like if it's like really impeding a play, then you can call it, but let it go on.
Yeah.
Even with that, like I worked a game last Thursday when it was two fairly physical teams, and we still ended up in double bonus for both of them. So even with that, it was like, okay, well, you're still gonna call fouls. But that's been the biggest thing, and then not going to as far to the table. So I haven't really talked to a coach except before and sometimes after the game. So that helped quite a bit as well.
That was one of the things I mentioned. You were getting too close to the table.
Yeah, and another ref that I worked with was saying the same thing.
And it was taking you a long time to get there,
Yep.
which I thought was slowing the game down. Remember, obviously you've heard this, but we got to hustle out and lead. It's something that I've struggled with, and I say struggle. It's not hard to run out. It's not.
Yeah.
It's just being lazy or forgetting. Those are the two reasons why. And plus it looks a lot better and it keeps the game moving. You do your little trot, you stop, you pop, and then you keep moving. But you're walking. It's just taking you. It's like this is how it looked to me.
Yeah, no, I've definitely
not there yet, though.
Yeah.
Still not there yet. We're still not there yet.
Yeah.
We're going. So it's like, let's just keep the game rolling. And
no, I definitely picked up on that too. Plus, I think the game you saw definitely picked up the pace. Getting into the right spot, and like there's the Tuesday call. The two things, like one was as the guy at the top is then moving over or over, and I kind of follow along if I'm in the lead position. It ended up being like dribble drive into the basket, kid came right over, obviously blocked, but I was right in the right position, so it was just like super easy charge call as opposed to being way farther down the line and kind of missing it. So that helped a lot. So yeah, I've just been really trying to move as quickly as possible into the right position. And again, like if you're there, you actually sprinting away from a coach, you just don't hear it as much. So
do you find that something you struggle with, getting up and down the court, or just getting into the right position? Because I just noticed a few times there was just a little bit lack of urgency of getting there.
No, obviously losing a couple pounds will help me with the speed part, but
I mean, you have a good run, and so that's why I'm like, no, you can run.
Yeah, no, I mean, since we worked that game, I've definitely kept up the pace a lot more. I think the other thing is one is a little bit of anticipation. Especially at the JV level, I've noticed there's not a lot of half court game. There's a lot of full court game. So you get like a press, and then the ball gets whipped up real quick, and then I have to haul ass up to the front as quickly as possible. So
that's where I noticed it most is not in the lead position. It's in the trail position, getting into just having a good angle on the play. And I want you to remember, if you don't feel like you're in a comfortable position to see the play and you're not 100%, you got to let it go. And you got to have that awareness to know, all right, yeah, that play looked a little funny, but I'm 47 feet away from it.
Hmm.
I got to trust my partner, or
Yeah.
be okay with letting the play go.
Hmm.
So I know what you're saying, that those quick transitions in a two-person game and the
Hmm.
trail sometimes are a little behind the play, but just do your
Yeah.
best to get to the 28-foot mark every time.
Mhm.
And then you're going to work up or below based
Right.
on where the ball is. A
Hmm.
lot of times point guards they start the play from more close to half court. So we have
Hmm.
to step up a little bit, follow them
Hmm.
as they go down. It's
Hmm.
just kind of a guideline. So there's definitely some good plays to look at. I want to share the screen and pull up
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
game, and I'm trying a new share the screen option. So hopefully it's optimized and it's not um, muffled on your end.
So far, so good.
Are there any questions that you have from the beginning before we start, or do you want to pick the play we look at first one?
No, I'm pretty good. I definitely went through the report, and then before a couple of the games I had, I went through it again,
Good.
refresher.
How was that?
It was good. It was helpful.
Good.
It also is like, okay, get my head into being ready to go out and do it. Um, you know, so it was definitely helpful.
See right there, just knowing that you're a little bit far away from the play,
Yeah.
you know, um,
Hmm.
it's way ahead of you, and just
Hmm.
make that slow down there at the table. And
Hmm.
have you tried reporting that hand check more like a football signal now, where it's a little bit
Yeah.
higher up?
Yeah. I did it yesterday, not Tuesday. Um, Same with the push, just because it's pretty obvious. And it was funny because I looked over to, I think it was the kid's dad. It was like senior night or June, whatever, last night for the last home game.
Mhm.
And then the dad was like, "No, you got to have your hands out like this, not like up on him like this."
Okay.
So because I'm like, "You're doing this," even the crowd knew it was like, okay, that's this not happening. So
All right. One small adjustment. I want you to grab the hand with the palm on top of your
like,
right hand.
like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So instead of gripping it under, you're
Mm-hmm.
gripping it over, and just a press, like a straight
Yep.
press out. Like fingers are closed, you're
Mm-hmm.
pressing it straight out. And have
Yep.
a strong off arm too. That off arm should be like throwing your hand towards you, like they're working in unison together.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. That's good stuff. So we're going off game film time, YouTube time here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not quarter time. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So freedom of movement, foul and lead. Yeah, so you just called the foul there, just hustle
Yep.
to the table. And let's improve your hit signal. So popping off that off arm,
Mm-hmm. Yep. So I've
striking.
been doing that more up
All right, I
here
want you to adjust your fist. Your fists should be palms down.
like
Yeah.
this.
Yep.
Okay. And then
Yeah. But that strike has to be a little cleaner.
okay. So like hit.
I would bring the off arm a little bit higher, so it's like shoulder level. So and then your strike should be, a little bit higher up.
So this is the off arm, right?
Mm-hmm. Off arm's good.
Mm-hmm. And
A little bit
then
higher up. Yeah. Yeah. Just work on that. That's just gonna, take practice.
mm-hmm.
Just actually practice of getting in the reps of striking the fist.
Mm-hmm.
Right there.
Yep.
You had a quick whistle, 421. I want to look at that one. All right. So when
So
a play's going away from us,
mm-hmm.
you want to try to use your filter and not, insert yourself into the play unless you have to. So as this ball handler is leaving, I see the stayed hand. Well,
Mm-hmm.
let me correct. I don't know if it was a stayed hand. He put his hand on. He did keep it on for about maybe a second, right?
Mm-hmm.
I always tell players hands off,
Right.
hands off. Soon as I see them come touch,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm trying to be proactive with hand check fouls
Mm-hmm.
and just use my voice and give them those reminders. The game is cleaner this way. We don't have to stop on game interrupters.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think it's good proactive officiating. What do you think? Could we have held here?
So if you go back, so 421, whatever it was. So what I saw is is the kid comes across here, and then right there, he's got an arm bar.
Okay, so you
Right,
have the arm bar.
the arm bar, and he's pushing the kid to the outside. So when I see the arm bar, to me, it was like, okay, he's put the kid at a pretty good disadvantage to bring around, like to try and dribble. So that was my pretty much my impetus of calling was just the arm bar. If he had put his hands on it, I wouldn't have called it.
Well, here's my issue with the play. It's the timing of when you called it. It was already he already passed it. So it's like
Okay.
you're gonna go arm bar, then you got to kill the play right here at the top of
Yep.
the key
Mm-hmm.
because look how far we let him go. He's going, passes it.
Yep.
All right, we have a steal there. I don't know so much of an issue. I just think we need a little bit quicker of a whistle.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why we shouldn't judge like our partners' games from the couch, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I'm sitting here thinking that he had his hand on him. I couldn't see that the armbar that changes things a bit,
Mm-hmm.
right? But I just want to improve the timing of that whistle there.
Mm-hmm.
Normally armbar is going to be automatic.
Yep.
It still did look a little bit light,
Mm-hmm.
and he was able to get the pass off. The pass got deflected by B2, which I don't
Yep.
think was a factor in the A1 B1 matchup.
Mm-hmm.
So just a couple things to keep in mind. Not to say that
Okay.
the call is incorrect. So one of the summaries from this is if we can talk out of a hand check, let's do that.
Yeah.
It's
No,
better for the
that's
team.
and honestly, once we can get rid of the mask, it's gonna be a lot easier to talk. I mean,
Well, I would argue it's going to be easier to be clearer, but I'm going to be honest. I'm saying more now
Mm-hmm.
because I know nobody can see my lips moving really.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm
Okay.
able to say kind of different things with the mask on that I might not be able to with a
Mm-hmm.
mask on. So you just gotta pick your spots. There's
Yep.
value to come from it,
Mm-hmm.
I hear what you're saying, totally.
Yeah. But yeah, I've been doing a lot of it more on the preemptive side with, making sure everybody clears the lane, especially in the lead position. That's helped a bit because they'll hear that and they'll know they'll have to move.
Okay.
Especially with the JV level, middle school level, they just kind of camp there and totally forget that they're there.
So at 538, reduce excess. Play like this, we know it's going to be in the front court in 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like your backcourt count is slowing you down.
Yep.
When it's really an irrelevant signal on this play. We know there's no defender stopping them from getting into the front court. I think we'll be okay with not counting here. So just what's more important, you signaling a 1 second backcourt count or sprinting to get in a great position on this fast play?
Right. I've kind of taken the tact of if I'm 100% sure it's a fast break and they're pulling butt up to not do the count. But then if it's even like, 5-10% chance that they might get stuck, I'll just do the count real quick.
Yeah, I mean, it's very let's think about a backcourt violation. How often, or excuse me, 10-second violation. How often do we call them?
I've only called it once in 3 years.
Yeah,
So.
I probably call one a year, to be honest with you. I probably call 1 to 2 a year. So a very uncommon whistle. So just think about the percentages of times we're backcourt counting to the actual percentage of time we're going to actually call the violation. Priority. I want you to prioritize.
Gotcha. Okay.
All right, what did I write? We're going to strengthen your presentation from your chop to the way you count, to the way you hold your hand up, to the way you hold the ball, all that. Little things, little things. So right now, I want you to be holding the ball up. While you're waiting, you're standing with the ball up in the air.
Gotcha. Yep.
No, it sounds corny, but it sounds cheesy. It's fine. But like you're honored to like hold this ball because this ball signifies the game that we love. But could sound corny. It looks great. Make no mistake about it. It just looks great. The more times we could come off with really strong court presence and believability, it's going to put us in the best perception in everybody else's eyes. Not that we're worried about that, but we are being judged constantly. So something simple like that, you're holding the ball up, you're waiting for number 5. Also, with the off arm, you can even guide him to his spot. Again, another professional courteous thing to do. Think of it as I'm holding the door open for you,
Mm-hmm.
and I hold it open with one hand, and then my off arm is kind of guiding the person to walk through the door. It's a nice
Yep.
gesture. So I like to add that. So now we
Yep.
have two nice gestures. You're holding the ball really nice. You're pointing to the spot really nice. It looks really professional.
Mm-hmm.
Copy and paste.
Yep.
I mean, you kind of handed it, you kind of raised it up.
Yep.
Keep it
I-
simple. Just give them just keep it
Yeah,
low.
I got you.
Nice pass or a good bounce pass, John.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we could. I know you're a former athlete, former Olympian, or competed to go in the Olympics for rowing. So I know you have an athletic background. Let's showcase it.
Yep.
And count. Have we made that adjustment where our
Yeah.
count is now shoulder level?
Yeah. And with a snap.
Let me see it. And let me see it with the hand up too.
Oh, with the hand up like this?
Okay, good. Yeah, much straighter, just much straighter, cleaner.
Yeah.
You can even bring it up a little bit higher. Like our shoulders should extend right out.
Yeah, I try and just make sure it's like it's just out. It's just it's like just the elbow just goes out.
Outward.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying. I know sometimes we kind of count
Right.
out front. You're saying? Yeah.
Yeah, and then it's just there's the snap. It's like, okay, it's 1, and then it's 2, 3.
And then how are we going to chop in?
So the chop in has just been like and I've just been down, and I've been making a fist. I know I'm supposed to probably just do this, but it's up and then it's just straight down.
Can I get you to do the Jeter chop? Were you a Yankee fan?
No.
Okay. But he was a great player and he had a great chop. Can you do the Jeter chop? San Francisco?
San Francisco, West Coast.
Football, though.
It is football, but West Coast. If my Giants hat's upstairs.
I got you.
So.
Jordan, when he used to hit game winners, would do that fist.
Yep.
It's the best chop. So I would love to see you adapt that.
Yeah, the one thing I do want to check is with the guys that I work for is how they want it, because
they don't really care.
Okay.
If you ask them, they'll tell you.
Right.
But these are like the little parts of the game that I don't think really matter, but you'll hear that they matter in circles around the country from, local boards and all that kind of stuff. If not, you don't want to do that. I just want your chop to be better. You shouldn't, if you're going to go low, then leave the fist out. Just keep your hands tucked and pop it downward. So in other words, don't just make it like your arm got shot down and you're just dropping your arm. Step into it and really chop it down.
Okay.
1603, illegal screen. I think you had a few illegal screens in this game.
Yeah. That's something that I've been keeping more of a tighter whistle on. It just in the fact that if the illegal screen is really leading to a big advantage.
So you have an illegal screen play here. Take me through it. You're in lead.
Yep. So I come down, and the reason I call it this one is so this kid down here comes in, he bumps that kid, then he comes in, he bumps that kid. I'm like, dude, you bumped 2 kids in a row. I'm gonna call it on you.
Let's have another look. So you thought
So I almost laughed at him because it was just like you just run into people.
All right. Well,
so you see him, he's up at the top of the key coming across now. He's at the
number 5, right?
Number 5.
Okay.
He's gonna come down.
Okay.
Run into that guy, and he's gonna go run.
Did you think that was a foul? What he did to his primary defender?
Oh, is it a foul? Yeah, but it wasn't one that I was gonna call right away.
So you think you think that initial contact was a foul? I know he's running towards him and he has his arms out a little bit, but the defender is just backing up. No,
I saw contact, so at that point I thought he had initiated it.
Well, contact is part of the game, so I want you to differentiate.
I didn't think it was incidental. We put it to you that way.
Now you're talking better terms.
Yeah. So he comes down, runs into that kid, and pushes him back, and then he runs into the next kid who comes around to the left. So he's run into two kids in about 2 seconds, and then I was like, okay, well, basically, you've kind of run into two people right in front of me. I'm going to call it and move it over. And also, the ball's on that side. So,
It just seems like for me, the timing of your whistle, it was
Mhm.
almost like you were ready to call it on the second player. It almost, you could almost make the case now. I know the sound, we could have a delay, but
Mhm.
it almost comes slightly before.
Oh, okay. Well, I
Like,
mean, I was pretty sure I called it that second time. So,
and not to say it was early, but it was like immediate
Mhm.
upon contact. I don't know if you ever kind of let it play out and
Yeah, I got
absorb.
you.
Because
Mhm.
look at what the defender does. What? Okay, good. He gets through it. He gets through it. I
Mhm.
mean, nothing really it's nothing really happens.
Mhm.
So having that big picture awareness on the play. Now, if this play creates a wide open lane for a layup, we're going to
Mhm.
look at it differently. But in
Sure.
this case, he's in the corner. He's just
Mhm.
dribbling back up.
Yep.
That's why I feel like it could be a game interrupter just because there's nothing going on, really.
No, and I get that. I just want to like just it made me laugh when I saw him run into two people in about second and a half.
Yeah, and I think that's what and it's okay to use that sometime. I've spoken about that where it's like A1's dribbling, B1 bumps him in the air, and then B2 comes over and bumps him again. I'm like,
Mhm.
that's just too much contact from
Mhm.
two people. So I understand what you're saying,
Mhm.
but I don't want take this away. Don't
Yeah.
let your opinion on one play affect
Mhm.
the next play because
Sure.
I think that's clearly what happened here. You were like, oh, that's a foul. Oh, if he does anything to the next guy, it's a foul.
Right.
When I don't know if that was really anything. Yeah, the screen was ugly, his arm was out, but again,
Mhm.
what happened? Was there
Right.
displacement? Was there legal contact?
Mhm.
But let's not call legal contact just because it's a bad screen.
Mhm.
You'll see that. You'll see that. And I've done it too, where I'm like, you just judge the screen. You're just watching the
Right.
screen and you're like, that's a terrible screen. That's illegal. You
Right.
watch it on film, you're like, okay, it's a bad screen. There's no illegal contact though.
Right. No, I got it. And I haven't called. I don't think I've called maybe one since this game. So.
Now mechanically, once we do, stopping the clock,
Mhm.
boom, boom, and then let's get an immediate point the other way.
Mhm.
That hesitation you showed might have been you were considering which player to call the foul on potentially
Mhm.
because it looked like you
Mhm.
were kind of decided. Is that
Yeah.
right?
I had pointed at him, which I don't do anymore.
Good.
Um, and and then I think what I was trying to figure out in my own head was to call the team control foul signal,
Mhm.
but which I didn't do there. So.
So obviously we spoke about this and you've watched it, but this
Mhm.
this being
Way too
only
close.
the only time we should be this close if we need to go ask them an actual question. We have an
Mhm.
error, malfunction. We do that all the time. Not
Mhm.
when we're reporting fouls. You should be where this kid is right here,
Mhm.
or where your partner is like right around here, 3-point
Yep.
line. This is a good some of these courts
Mhm.
have this basketball or volleyball court on it.
Mhm.
Just report in the volleyball court.
Yep. Yeah, that's
Perfect.
definitely something I've been doing.
Good. I want to look at 2134. What'd you see on this play?
I saw can you go back? I'm pretty sure I saw a hit on the kid's arm.
Was it by the primary defender or the defender from the back? Which player did you point to?
I think it was from the player from the back.
All right, so this guy was on ball now, I believe.
Yep. And then the ball goes up at some point. Mm,
Oh, okay. 25, right?
yeah, and then he gets the rebound, and then he goes up right there.
Oh, on 4? You called it on 4?
Yeah.
Now, after watching the play, what did you think? Did it confirm it for you?
I called it because he was going up through traffic,
Mhm.
and I don't think he actually was fouled. Like I would have taken this. I don't like for now. like after seeing it and now working a few games after doing all this, like I would probably have held my whistle there.
Good. Um, can I add that, sometimes we react to contact and blow our whistle
Mhm,
prematurely when stuff happens prior to
mhm,
the current play. So
mhm.
on this play, it's a little dirty rebound, right?
Yeah,
Player in white goes up, there's a little contact, traffic, ugliness. Our radars are up.
yeah.
Spin, little bit of contact. Did that
Mhm,
influence our decision?
mhm.
Could have been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
So
also think like I'm not in the best position here. Like I was too far back.
that's another
I
thing.
think
Good point.
if I was down where which where I hope I am now, which is down closer to the lane, I would have, I wouldn't have seen as much contact.
Hmm. And just having the patience to know the player played through it, no issues, no
Hmm.
movement speed, balance affected, clean, like clean.
Hmm. Yeah.
And so mechanically, instead of pointing to players, which I'm glad you've eliminated, let's
Hmm.
see your score the goal signal. That's a signal that we got to show on the spot. Foul, got a fist, and then let me see you flush it home. Don't worry about pointing who the foul was on.
It's been like real, like up and then like bam.
Okay.
Just and obviously because everybody's kind of shouting in one, so it's you got that, and the basket's like all dramatic on
Mhm.
the rim, and then it comes in and bam,
Mhm.
and then we'll go up to the table, or I'll go to my partner and go one, and then go up to the table and go count the goal, white, 22, hit, one shot.
Good. Keep
So
pra- keep practicing that. That's all that
yeah,
is. Practice. Well, you're looking better.
cool.
Sure. Yeah. Love it. Love to see the growth. All right, let's go back to another legal screen.
Hmm.
And I think this is a patient whistle play. I think this is a pain tolerance play, just allowing contact to evolve or
Yes.
letting plays evolve and noticing when they're finished and noticing when
Mhm.
they're still going on. You want that one back?
Which one was it? Oh wait, go back. I know which one it is, but I remember it was up at the top. I was looking down below.
Well, good step back. Tell me about that play.
So the reason I was this is that, I mean, he had done it right before, so it was his second one, but I just thought he had slid so far out that he had just, put the defender at pretty big a disadvantage.
After watching it, do you agree?
Well, again, it's the defender doesn't lose a lot, but it was just it was just how much he slid out from his position. Like he gets a position there and whoop. So that's what drew my eye, and that's what I reacted to, was him just sliding so far to the left.
Now, when you say sliding so far to the left, describe to me what is illegal about a player sliding to the left. Be more specific.
So he establishes his position as a screener, and then as the defender is going past, he slides into him. So like a block or a charge call, like the torso already almost gotten past, like right there, and
So
so he ends up making contact with him.
So you're saying the screen is still moving upon contact?
Yeah,
He's not set in his stance.
yeah, like that.
Planted. Now we can still frame this
Hmm.
and we could have a correct call on paper all day.
Oh, sure.
I'll show you.
I mean, that's really the art.
Like
It's like,
obviously, let's look right here.
hmm.
It looks like, well, he's too wide. So on paper, that's an illegal screen.
Hmm.
Too wide. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, let's think about this play. 5 seconds left in a tie game.
Hmm.
I mean, this all changes everything, right? Time and score.
Yep.
But I just think overall, it's insignificant force.
Hmm.
It's just not enough displacement. It's
Hmm.
not enough. It's just.
No, I get you. Again, it's the pain tolerance, as you were saying.
Yeah. Yeah, I was told great advice at camp. It's really simple. It goes like this: illegal screens and travels, you have to be 110%. Like make them
Mhm.
obvious. Make them
Yeah.
obvious.
Right.
So, illegal screens should jump off the page at us.
Mhm.
And I think you're judging the plays for not the right reasons all the time. I think you're bringing in too much information about what a player does. I know the last example we spoke, and this play, he's sliding over. I just want you to think in terms of illegal contact. What are the screening rules?
Mhm.
Time and distance.
Mhm.
Did the screener give him enough time and distance to avoid the contact? So I just want you to think more along the lines of rule-based
Mhm.
questioning, or the way you're,
Mhm.
kind of deciding in your brain.
Mhm.
Okay, you just had a foul there. Let's take a look. Big picture awareness.
Mhm.
Do you think this was a good block up top, or was the contact
So
too? I mean, it looks like two players. What do you got?
so this one was I was taking the dribbler from, who was still in my section, into the key, and what I saw
Good.
was this kid comes down right there at 22
Go.
and pushes in the back. And that to me was like, okay, well, he's got his hands on his back before he goes up. And I was like, well, okay, well, that's a push in the back, and that's what I was going to call.
Now, did you factor in like letting the play go on an extra second, maybe seeing if we have a good defensive play by B2? Like, would that play a factor in you letting it go, or maybe trying to have more patience on this play?
No, it's just, I mean, when I saw the kid's hand go into the back and kind of start to push, I was like, okay, well, I'm just going to call that one because he's, well, one, I mean, the kid getting pushed in the back just leads to bad things. So that's what I saw is in there. He went up straight pretty good. If he kept his hands off him, it wouldn't have been anything.
I just want you to also differentiate between 22 placing an arm on him
Mhm.
versus him extending and it becoming a push. Those are two
Right.
different things, too. So that's
Yeah.
another thing we have to determine. I don't want the fact that the defender places an arm on him to be the reason why it's a foul.
Right. From what I could see when he was coming down, he was pushing.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So, that was really the tip off to me that it was a foul.
Because remember, more has to happen. Like, it has to evolve for it to become
Mhm.
illegal based
Mhm.
on that. I'm allowed to put my hand in your back,
Mhm.
not allowed to extend and push and displace you and knock you off your shot. So
Right.
a couple of, again, John, I'm not trying to sit here and
No, no, it's all
judge
good.
incorrect. And there's a few plays where I could see, maybe we got to let that one go. This
Mhm.
play, I'm going to trust you on it because I'm sitting on my couch, and if you notice our camera angle, we're up in the what 20th row
Yeah.
from our couch, so it's not a great angle. But
Yeah,
I
it's
think
the
there's
it's the old huddle camera thing at the
yeah,
top. It's on all the gyms now.
but I think there's a few takeaways. Try to give it. I want you to just let that play breathe for a second, just to see
Mhm.
if we have a if that block, create if he comes over and just blocks it into the 20th row and it's a spectacular play. Do we want to be having our hand up
Right.
because we had a little arm in the back? So
Mhm.
think about those plays. Think about letting it breathe and letting it finish.
Mhm.
46-46, we talked about stop pointing at players.
Yep.
There's really no need to point at a player unless you're indicating he's our shooter. That's one time we do point at players.
Mhm.
All right. All right, Mike. 10 Blues, our shooter. Got him here. But it's an irritant to be pointing at people
Yeah.
that we call fouls on.
Yep.
And not even worried about if they're going to get irritated. It doesn't make us look as confident and as sure, actually.
Mhm.
By doing all that extra stuff, to me, we don't look as sure and certain.
Mhm.
So I just want you to take me through the proper sequence of signals for an N1. Good N1 call. Good. Flush it.
So we're
Okay.
up.
Jog to the table. You're
Yep.
indicating how many shots. We kind of know how many shots. It's an N1.
Right. So we're up, foul, 1, jog to the table, count the basket, foul, white, 22, it's a hit, 1 shot.
Okay, good. Score it. All right, so we forgot to score it.
Yeah, that's again,
And what was that point down? What was that downward point? Left. Oh,
that
score. That was
that
the score,
that
right?
was the score of the basket, but it
All right.
was not the first thing, which now for me is the first thing.
So for score it at the table, I like to take my 2 fingers, flush it across my body.
Mhm.
So try that one. Score it instead
Score
of
it.
the press down like you had the button press down.
Yeah,
You can either score with a fist. I like to either score with a fist at the table or 2-finger flush.
Okay.
Okay, try that one out.
So score it like this.
You don't have to go up that high. No, you're just gonna start it like at your chest and score.
Okay. Score it. White 1-1 or 1-1.
11.
Hit, 1 shot.
Good. Remember your when you're reporting your shots or presenting your numbers, think about that rectangular box that goes around your face. Push it through the box every time.
Mm-hmm.
These are such good reminders too for me. The fact that I get to sit down and break this down with you. I have a game tonight, and I remember last night. I can't remember the exact example, but a part of the podcast, a line that I think someone in the IPR had. It just stuck with me, and I applied it subconsciously in that moment. I'm like, wow, that was straight from the podcast.
Yeah,
I just put to use.
No, it's helped quite a bit. I think the biggest thing is just doing more reps, more games. Just try not to lose it.
Yep. Okay, rebounding foul. Let's take a look at this one. I think this was just a sequencing of signals play, making sure we have the correct order. So good call. Boop, boop, this way. Or boop, boop, that's a foul. White ball.
Yep.
Just right away. Don't worry about pointing at the guy. Just point the new direction. In this case, we staying here. We're going down. We're going down.
No, we're
staying here.
We should be staying there.
Okay, so
it was a 1-1. So
okay, so here's what I want you to do. Perfect. Stop the clock. Stays here. Stays here. Signal. Point down to the ground. 1 time.
Yep.
1 time. Not jabbing.
Yeah,
Foul fist.
Yep.
Boop boop. Stays here and then right up 1-1. So that's a layered play. When you know you're in the bonus and you have a rebounding foul, I want 3 signals. Foul, stays here, 1-1. Here's my shooter.
Gotcha.
Those difficult plays or layered plays give us an opportunity to run the game, really dictate the flow of everything and the communication of what the correct call is or what the call is on the court. Did you like 104 after you watched it on film?
Yeah, because the kid was pretty much displaced by the push, and as I've looked in the lead position.
Okay, let me stop you there. You said push. I don't see a push.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we were talking about the previous play. Oh, so this one, and it's one of those. So this one is one of the fouls I picked up with my ears. So as he was going past the kid right there.
I don't like it. I don't like that, John, that we're reffing with our ears. But go ahead.
I just heard just a definitive smack. Audible enough that I'm like, okay, there was definitely contact before ball.
What if I slap your hand?
You slap my hands?
Yeah, what if I slap your hand? Is that a foul?
I just thought, to me, I just heard it, and it was like,
no, I know.
Reaction.
But let me ask you this. What if I slapped your hand and you heard it? Is it a foul and you saw it? Are you going to call a foul?
No, it's not. But I think he had slapped it enough that he'd put the guy at a disadvantage. Plus, he fell down. the whole picture was not good.
I can't see the contact on film, so
Mhm.
you could be right. You could have had the best angle, but I'm just listening to you give me your reasoning on it. And one, you said you didn't see it, so that's a bad thing, right?
Well, I would say if you go back, like I did see it, like
So tell me
it,
where,
it-
and the
it's a
reason why I asked
combination.
about, sorry, the reason why I asked about the hand-to-hand contact, because I want you to tell me where the contact occurred. Because if it occurred on the hands, then that's
No,
nothing.
no, I think from what I could see was so I'm standing in a pretty decent position up at the trail, and the kid goes across, and I could see and hear a hit on the kid's arm.
All right, here it comes.
And then yeah, so he's got pretty good anticipation. I'm right there, so I got a
Good
pretty good
angle. You have a
angle.
good look.
Yeah, and then I saw the kid in the black uniform go down. So to me, it just looked like right there. See where you got him on the arm,
Did he
and
hit the ball at all?
it's
You
tough
know?
to see. That was where I could see where it would not have been the right call is if he gotten ball first.
That's key criteria.
But I didn't see it enough to think that it was ball. I like, just because of where the kid had ended up at the end. He's like there's a arms flying. It just didn't. It looked really not like a clean play. And then the kid's reaction at the end, like to me, he kind of almost looked. It was like, oh, guilty of this charge, like so.
So if he does hit ball first and then arm, unless you think that arm contact is something that you can't let go and it's a cleanup foul,
Mhm.
besides that, it's going to be nothing. So if we have ball arm, this is a clean play. If we
Right.
have arm ball, and the reason why I got to the ball was because I hit your arm, that's a
Mhm.
different scenario, right?
Yeah.
So again, and I want you to, this goes back to judging the play for the right reasons.
Mhm.
I want you to judge the play simply for that contact on the swipe. Is this illegal or legal? It has nothing to do with the way the player went down.
Right.
Has nothing to do with how he flailed his arms.
Right. No, I get it.
We're not judging that. We're judging simply the contact. I'm trying to break it down as simple as possible
Mhm.
and not have you think about all these other factors that can cloud our judgment.
Mhm.
You know?
Yep.
Very nice. Well, I want to give you an opportunity to ask any follow-up questions. Those are a lot of the plays that stood out to me. I think we hit on a lot of good learning points, both
Mhm.
for you and for me. So you have any more questions you want to ask me?
No, I mean the only thing is, I had an incident on Tuesday, so it's kind of like my first, I guess, mental blunder was, and it was one of those like, okay, I'll never make this mistake again. But so kid was on the free throw line. There was 3.5 seconds to left. They were down by 5, and the team that was ahead was shooting 1-1. Or sorry, he was shooting 2, because they were in the double bonus. Makes his first. They call timeout. Go to the benches. I'm in the lead. Everybody comes back, and for some reason, I thought it was still 2 shots. So I signaled 2 shots. My partner didn't correct me. Half the team doesn't go because they think it's 2 shots. One very astute kid grabs the rebound, takes it over. Game ends. Coaches were not happy because I had given the wrong foul count or the wrong shooting count. But I'm like, okay, if I don't see a signal from my partner, like I have to just make sure I confirm. Like, and it was just like and it's funny because when I left, I'm like, I could have sworn there was 2 shots, and then I went back and watched the tape of the game that night, and I was actually pretty pleased with how I was doing. Except I get to that one play, I'm like, yep, they had a shot before, and I totally like just missed on it.
Were players left at a disadvantage because of it?
Yeah. Because they thought it was 2 shots. The kid was just literally standing there. So
I made that error as well. So those are obviously they don't put us in the best position to look like we're
Yeah,
right. And yeah, those are tough errors to make. Just
So, but
comes down to constant self-talk and reminders. All right. Who's my shooter? 22 Blues. My shooter's on the line for 2. All right. Clock's good. 35. They got to reset. Good. Constant reminders.
So yeah, that was one of those things. And then the other one, this is, was, so I had a play last Thursday. It was a pretty good physical game between 2 JV teams. And right early in the game, kid came in. I was in the lead, so I was back here. Kid came in, charged into a kid who had legal guarding position. Blowing whistle, signal charge. And then the kid who ran into him kind of disappears into the crowd. I'm like, crap. What was his number?
I know.
And I'm like, look, I'm just gonna say I didn't know. I went after my partner. I'm like, which guy was it? He's like, oh, yeah, it was white 44. I'm like, okay, I'll walk over the bench and do it. But I'm like, I literally lost track of him.
It happens. It's good that you had the awareness to ask your partner.
And if that fails, you can always go ask the shot clock operator or the person doing the book. They can give you information sometimes on who the player was, because they'll know. Most of the time, they'll know.
Right. And it was just like, yeah, he just disappeared in the crowd. I'm like, oh man, where'd he go?
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, other than that, it's been good. It's like I'm a little disappointed that I only got 1 game left.
Yeah.
And then I do baseball too, so baseball is going to be big. But just trying to figure out getting back into it so that I, in a month or so, there's some rec games or whatever else comes down the pike, to keep working and just getting more reps and more looks to see, that's a travel, that's an illegal screen, that's a block, that's a charge. The other one, there's another group I follow on Instagram. It's Come On Ref. Yeah. He'll put up video clips. He had a pretty good one the other day of a kid who had a legal guarding position moved laterally into the dribbler. And, it was a great charge call. And of course you get a coach who's saying, well, he's moving his feet. Like, that doesn't matter. He had legal guarding position, moved to the left. So those things kind of help too, just seeing those kind of plays over and over again.
Good. Yeah, everybody looking for plays and discussions to hop in, definitely go check out Come On Ref. Mark does a nice job picking some really interesting plays, and I've noticed there's been some really good conversations going on. So good stuff, man. It was a pleasure working with you, man. I really.
It was great. It really helped.
Yeah.
My goal wasn't anything other than just getting better.
I love it.
Yeah. And when you get better, you never know what's going to happen. But yeah, just getting better and working games.
Thank you for listening to the Crown Refs podcast. Serve the game.